Welcome back to Elets third National CIO Virtual Conclave powered by Dinodo. I am Rashi Aditi Ghosh. I am the Assistant Editor of Elets Technomedia. And this conclave has been supported by Banking and Finance Post, which is India's premier B2B magazine on BFSI, trends and updates, and Elect CIO, which is also a very new, upcoming, and innovative way to inform our readers on technology and updates. And the organizer of this event is Elets Technomedia, which is an 18-year-old and India's largest B2B media platform, which is into spreading innovation through its dialogues and various publications that we learn. And today we are here for yet another discussion, which is most likely to be very insightful. And the topic of this session is 2022 Manufacturing Industry Outlook: Acceleration in Technology Adoption. So, as the name suggests, we would be talking about how technology is helping manufacturing industry in reinventing itself, and amid during the uncertain times when all the industries across the world are changing themselves. They are reinventing, onboarding technologies to ensure business continuity and ensure resilience and stay connected to their users. So today for the discussion, we've been joined by Mr. Azim Ghani. He's the Group Chief Information Officer, MJ Penguin, and Mr. Milind Karmakar. He's Group Chief Information Officer, Supermax Group. Mr. Sudhir Kavinde, he is Chief Information Officer, the Supreme Industries Limited, and Mr. Satyanarayan Kasturi, Group IT Head, Ashok Piramal Group. Welcome all of you on board, and from on behalf of Elets Technomedia, Namaskar, and thank you for joining us today for this discussion. Uh, just welcome to all of you to the panel. So. Before starting the conversation, I would like to extend a word that the panel discussion would be technology oriented, and we would be helping our viewers understand how the leaders are taking their industries forward with their innovation and technologies on board. So the first before starting the panel discussion, I would like to request our esteemed panelists to introduce themselves in brief, and then we can start the panel discussion.
Thank you, Rashi. Thank you for this invite. I like to thank Elets Technomedia for calling this specific focus discussion in manufacturing. This is a special and a very interesting time for the manufacturing industry. One hand, there is a technology revolution defined by the digital transformation is happening. Second hand, the government of India is promoting Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India concept, which is going to give a new boom to the Indian manufacturers for the domestic as well as the global market. Now, digital transformations is a journey, and it's a journey with the moving destination. It is started with the select of few technologies like SMAC, social, mobile, analytic, and cloud. It is evolved over a period of time, and now we are adopting extensively the blockchain, the IoTs, the AI, and getting ready for metaverse, which is going to be the augmented reality for the future. Now, manufacturing is being the back office function, so to speak. It is always depending upon the labor dominations. How best skill level you are available for doing your skill manufacturing. And the automation is always held between the likes and dislikes of the people who is running the shop floor. But with the digital adoption, and especially the period like pandemic, where the world and everybody is adopting digital without any excuses. The digital become a lifelong lifeblood for the everybody, every individuals. So nobody is immune for that. This is helping manufacturing to bring new and new technology in the manufacturing space. I see there is a demand from the people on the shop floor how we can improve their quality of the life. During the lockdown, during the pandemic, uh, except for the manufacturing people, except for the people on the shop floor, everybody was allowed to work from anywhere. Everybody was allowed to work from home. We can't give the absolute work from home for the manufacturing people, for the people on the shop floor, but definitely we can improve their work-life balance with the help of the digital technology. Now, transformation is important to live in the new changing life, to survive in the new normal. And it is impossible without the advent of the technology or acceptance of the digital. So digital transformation is happening. It is spreading in the manufacturing space also. The people have started, some of the plants, they are coming with the IoT enabled plant from the beginning. Some of the plants are getting ready for that. It's not very easy to replace the technology in manufacturing side because you already have a established technology. The manufacturing is totally depending upon that. So the replacement is not just like overnight. It needs the lot of due diligence to ensure that the process is going on and you are replacing the product, replacing the technology for the betterment of the product. The nirvana for manufacturing is when the every individual in the shop floor will say, here I am manufacturing the product with the digitally enabled. That's going to be the nirvana, and that's what we are aiming for.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Azain Ghani. I'm Group CIO for MJ Penguin Private Limited. We are an apparel manufacturing organization based out of Sri Lanka. We have around 4,000 employees in our group, and we have integrated systems that run our organization. And I would be really glad to share some thoughts with everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Zain, for joining us today, and hopefully we will have an insightful discussion today pertaining to the manufacturing industry. Mr. Kasturi, would you give a brief introduction of yourself and help us understand what you do?
Yeah, hi. Hi, I am Sachinand Kasturi, Group IT Head for the Ashok Piramal Group. I'm managing Peninsula Lands, Moraji Textiles, and Mirinda Tools. So basically, it's a good time. We need to discuss in this pandemic critical situation how manufacturing industry should support customers, how industry should work for the customer related solution. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Welcome, sir. And thank you so much. Mr. Sudhir, would you like to add a small note here? How would you introduce yourself?
Namaste, and this is Sudhir Kanvinde with 25 years of experience in IT industry. I worked in private sector and recently joined Supreme Industries Limited. Before joining this, I was with the government of India as a joint secretary level in Ministry of Shipping. Now with manufacturing sector, we have 28 manufacturing units across India. And thank you, Elets, for Technomedia for having me here. I would, looking forward to understand and interact with and get knowledge from other peers as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sudhir. All right. So, thank you, esteemed panelists, for joining us today and giving us a brief note on what you're doing. This will help our readers and viewers understand that how you are helping your industry progress ahead during the uncertain times, especially. So, the first question for today's panel discussion is. Digital transformation continues to be a priority in 2022. So, how the industry will increase investment in data-driven business tools? My question would be is would go to Mr. Satya Narayan Kasturiji from he's from Ashok Piramal Group. So, would you like to add add your view here that how digital transformation is helping manufacturing industry?
Yeah, hi. So for the business continuity, digital transformation is not a priority; it is a mandatory now. So because we are seeing this pandemic situation from last 2 years, we lost so much business, we lost our customers, we are not able to interact with anybody. So this kind of situation, it is a must now. We have to focus on that. And today, you know the situation: work from office, work from home, all these changeovers happening. Every quarter, there is a one new things affecting our business and affecting human being. So better to have an focused and priority on will be the digital transformation.
Hello,
And we should have 100%
hello.
digitalization now, unlike earlier. Earlier maybe we are focusing in particular areas. Now every area we need to focus and we need to ensure that 100% focused digitalization, and we
Hello.
should also focus on the mobility, and we should control the remote accesses, make sure the cloud investments for the organization. So this will be helping business continuity. Business is priority. Ultimately, we are here if the business is growing well and it is running continuously. And we need to develop a systems like from workflow systems to decision support systems. All these things, it is on the priority. It's not on the priority. It's a mandatory. That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kasturi, for adding that point here. Yes, it is a priority, and experts across industries have been, speaking about how digital transformation is no longer a choice, and so. So we were having discussion on digital transformation. Mr. Hussain just now added his experience on how mobile solutions are helping, ensuring more insights into adoption. So I would like to go back to you and ask, but how do you think digital transformation is helping the manufacturing, sector, and why is it a priority for the section, and how the investments in this regard have increased, and pertaining to data-driven business tools? What's your point of view here?
See, the core of digital is about data. There is a lot of data is already generated and is getting generated with the use of the digital technology. The using this data from from data hungry to the information starving, this is the journey which manufacturing companies are going to adopt. The data consumptions for the making the process, deciding the rightful actions and driving the insight is going to be the rule of the game for the survival in the new normal. So manufacturing is working on the two kind of data: the data which is generated from the machines, which we call, which we use AI, RPs of the world, and the data which is coming from the outside for the analytic purpose. So using that data to ensure that the whatever improvements is required, connecting with the market, is driven to the right level of data analytics. So culturally, high level of engineering supported by the good data analytics is a requirement for the manufacturing for the better adoption of the digital technology.
So our next, question would be, insights on adoption pertaining to mobile solutions. We all know that a lot of us are now digital users, and smartphones are no longer a choice for anyone. It has become a necessity to everyone. So bringing a global point of view here to the discussion, and an insight which will help us understand that how mobile solutions in particular are adding more insights and innovation to the manufacturing industry. I would like to request Mr. Azin Yani to share his inputs in this regard.
Yeah, so I think it's a continuous journey that we've had. I think we've come from, especially in the manufacturing industry, which I am in. It's a very human-centric organization that we run. And it's been a gradual process where we've come through this digital transformation journey. So I think a critical point in that is obviously the mobile technologies and how we are adapting to that. So some of the key initiatives that we've taken, especially automating the production flows, is where we've looked at mobile devices like smartphones or tabs, where there would be information would be entered real time in the production flows, and this information would be generated and then it would be visually shown in production lines in front of the employees who are working, so they know where they stand, what their targets are, what they need to achieve. We've also taken it, we're looking at taking it one step further where we could give access to maybe ideally where an operations manager may not be in their location, but using their mobile phones, they would get a visual dashboard as to know in each hour where exactly their production is, what is the status of it, and they would be able to take immediate action on the current running of the shop floor. So those are some of the initiatives that we've taken, especially when it comes to mobile and mobile technology.
So, taking the question on digital transformation further, we were all talking about how industries are changing, and how the pandemic has accelerated the concept of digital transformation. I would like to know your view here, Mr. Sudhir. How would you like to define digital transformation when it comes to you, your company? You're a leader, and you're helping your organization grow. So, what's your view here? On what's your take on digital transformation in 2022, and your investment pertaining to data-driven business tools?
Yeah, good question, Rashi. The huge amount of data generated has to be made meaningful. Is it possible to achieve improved forecasting and pricing strategy or optimal usage of machinery with planned maintenance and downtime? So we must understand the story that is behind the data and also how story will develop. See, data-driven business tools will be used widely, no doubt about that. Same in our company, we are want to use and we are using few features. See, these tools must directly address the business needs. And as I mentioned earlier, how we can achieve our goals. Analytics must give better insights into existing business problems and must prepare the organization for future challenges and also new opportunities. Investment in such tools will be justified when they help the business become scalable and agile. Data plays an important role in decision making. However, quality of data is important. So yes, digital journey started not in it's everywhere, but we need to identify what is our requirement, what is our expectation of business. Accordingly, we plan to invest in these tools. Back to you, Rashid.
All right. So we were talking about digital transformation across industries, and during this discussion we spoke about how manufacturing is redefining itself with digital transformation, how customer is playing the center of changes, and how innovation is now playing a pivotal role across the manufacturing industry, and onboarding and investments are now a priority. Now let's go
Rashid,
to
Rashid, can I just add something on the digital transformation since we're
yes,
struggling
yes,
with
sir.
that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you look at the digital transformation and the investments, I think compared to what it was when we started off with, we had manual systems, then we had legacy systems. So after the legacy systems came the ERP systems, which were the big chunky ERPs. Now we're looking or in the age of business intelligence tools. So intelligence tools are plugged into ERPs, and it's been driven through dashboards. The next phase is actually we are looking at the investments in future technologies. So like machine learning, RPAs, robotic process automations, where you look at certain advancements in the manufacturing flow. So especially coming from an apparel industry where it's very traditional and it's human centric, having to move towards technology, I think, has always been a challenge. But if you look at our investments, I think after you take the capital expenditure on machinery and maybe building upgrades, the second largest is on ICT. So I think that's a clear direction as to where the company and where the organization also needs to focus on. Whereas earlier, ICT was or IT was just a back office function. So most of the time, it used to be called the IT guy if your computer is not working. We are moving away from that, and I think I can make a statement saying that all companies in future are going to be IT companies or IT driven companies. So that's going to be the future. That's going to be the challenge. So it is difficult sometimes, especially when you need to deal with investments with the board. They come back and ask you why we need to spend so much on IT. Is it required? Do we need? But that trend is changing. And if I could say that again, it's basically a reflection of how organizations are looking to the future, and every company, like it or not, will have to be an IT-driven company, and that is coming very soon.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Anzin, thank you so much. That's no longer a choice. We all have to be IT-driven company, because that's where the continuity, and not just continuity, resilience, the word which is now playing an important part. That if you have to sustain, if you have to innovate, if you have to be in the business, you have to acquire customers and remodel your products and solutions. You will have to have digital transformation with yourself, and be ready with the same. So when we were talking about continuity, so let's move ahead to sustainability goals, which is a very important part of each one's life when you are a leader. And that's one of the biggest questions in today's time, when everything is uncertain. You don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years. And going back to mobile solutions, I would like to request Mr. Millen to give his views on why, what would you like to share? How does mobile solutions are adding insights to the adoption across the manufacturing sector? A part of it has been answered by Mr. Design, Mr.
See, mobile is a de facto standard of our living life. In some of the research, it is already mentioned that we have more mobile devices than the livelihood in our planet, which means there is a penetration of mobile which has reached to the greatest level of the humankind. Manufacturing is, most of the manufacturing, they are in underdeveloped areas for the betterment of the taxes and everything. Now reach of the cable network over there is little challenging compared to reach of the mobile. We used to say that the sun is reaching where thoughts are not, or thoughts are reaching where sun is not. Now the mobiles are reaching where cables are not. So the use of mobile for the manufacturing is very, very essential and very, very helpful, especially during the pandemic time, when we all were working with the when we all were working from the anywhere, and we were contactless is a requirement for everybody. The mobile was used extensively. The mobile was doing practically all kind of work, asking for the grocery to making the payment. Similarly, in the manufacturing, the information about the manufacture, the MIS, manufacturing information system, on the mobile is going to helpful for to give the data or give the informations and drive the decision very fast. Most of the device embedded systems are also now enabled on the mobile devices or handheld devices. It is easy to carry. It is reachable inside the difficult places in the manufacturing sites, and it is helpful for the people to take the timely action. So mobile is extremely important, and it's finding its way in the manufacturing area as well.
Sustainability goals in manufacturing needs a boost, and we all were talking about digital transformation, how emerging technologies are playing a role in this regard, something which is into question for a long time. And I think everybody, every industry, every organization somewhere or the other is experimenting with the same, is artificial intelligence, be it conversational AI or chatbots. So whichever way they are trying to onboard it and try to bring help to an acceleration to their systems and solution. So how sustainability goes in manufacturing needs a boost, and how AI today will be helping it, and not just today and in coming years as well. My question would be to Mr. Sudhir, how would you like to define this, and what's your point of view here?
See, sustainability is a very important factor to be considered for the long run, which can be used for identity or identify growth opportunities across functions, reduce raw and packaging material inventory levels. I'm just giving two examples how we can address. So with AI and other innovations, there are many other tools, especially in the manufacturing sector. We study the processes individually and collectively. And this, of course, a continuous improvement program. So you cannot just implement some tool and it's done. It's a continuous improvement. You can further enhance. Sometime you may need to go back to a drawing table. But as far as digital transformation is concerned, we need to make sure that we are not going again and again back to drawing board. So with AI, we expect to see something we have not seen before. With artificial intelligence, we want to find the unknown constraint and correct them in an appropriate manner. We want to handle sustainability challenge by being proactive and ready. And AI can certainly contribute to this readiness of the manufacturing sector. Back to you, Rashid.
Right. Thank you. Yes, it is actually, adding the innovations are added every day, and we are hearing updates. That's where, the sustainability and innovation goes hand in hand. And you have to keep innovate to be in the business, because customer demands are very dynamic today, and they want us as the industry to change. So, Azan, how would you like to define this? What's your point of view here, Mr. Uday?
Okay. Being in the apparel manufacturing industry, most of our customers, they look at sustainability as a very key important factor. It's part of our compliance as well. If we look at some case studies of how we've used or how we're planning to use for uh, AI and machine learning for sustainability, I will just give you a kind of an example. When we look at our supply chain, we have certain information which comes and gets gathered into our supply chain, but we are also looking at where the raw materials are sourced from on the supply chain front. So what we're looking at is creating a program where we can get big data, use a AI engine, and we can look at information. For example, is there a war in that area? Is the cotton being sourced from a right place? So, for example, there is a problem with certain cotton being purchased from China, where there is a little bit of how can I politically put it correctly, but there is an area which is there is a little bit of enforced labor in that area, and globally that area has been restricted. So again, what we do is we use that to actually identify and use it through big data and along with our supply chain to identify and give us insights. So that helps us in our overall sustainability, and it would tell us, okay, where the coffee is sourced from, how much of water is being used. All of this is very key important factors. As you would know, I think the apparel industry is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to utilization of water. So we spend a lot of water in the manufacturing of garments. So I think that is another key area that we're looking at. That's one example. We are also looking at AI and machine learning when it comes to shop floor management of employees. So where they're coming from, what the geographical locations are, what are the weather patterns, how does that impact the travel to them. So all of this is information that we're looking at, taking in to make sure that we have it contributes to the overall sustainability of the products that we put out there. So just to give you a few examples, I hope that helps.
Right. So, yes, we were talking about sustainability. We were talking about emerging technologies, for example, AI, and how is it helping us, helping manufacturing industry in particular grow and helping build a plan, that's also be workable in future as well. So, now with the shift from B2B to B2C, we are, talking about different perspectives now. So the greater concerns is about cybersecurity. We all know how we all are digitally inclined today. Digital transformation is no longer a choice. We all have to be technologically savvy to be in the business. So, the greater question here is we all are also exposed to a lot of cyber frauds. A lot of reports are now, highlighting this, that the cyber frauds has grown significantly during this time, especially during the COVID pandemic outbreak, and during the ongoing challenges when we are all homebound or we are remote. Greater concerns about cybersecurity, online customer protection, secure payments remain to be in priorities, whether we were digitally inclined or not. But today it has become the pandemic and the digital usage, with the growth in digital usage, it has now come into the center of everybody's concern. So, how technology penetration is helping tackle these changes. We are onboarding technology to streamline our solutions and product delivery, customer acquisition. But do you think this is also helping handle the challenges that we are facing, especially in context of cybersecurity? Mr. Sudhir, how would you like to, place your point of view here in this regard?
See, cybersecurity, the way we are now digitizing our environment, whether it's a manufacturing and whether it's your office premises, cybersecurity is very important. At the same time, when this pandemic started, people started started working from home with crucial data, and earlier, before COVID, working from home was very common for IT resources, but suddenly non-IT resources also started working from home. But in this scenario, we need to make sure they are well aware. It's not only, you can put firewall password, but also behavioral training is required. And this happens to even manufacturing, when we are going with mobility and many such solutions, whether those tablets are up to date, how they people should not connect or click on any link. So we need to make sure. So actually, it's a cybersecurity goes hand in hand with the technology as well as human behavior.
Yes. So, yes, human behavior and cybersecurity, for sure goes hand in hand, and it's about upgrading yourself. The firewall, the ways to detect frauds is also, which is something we need to upgrade with time. The challenges that happen internally, where employees are, exposed to cyber frauds, is, it's as challenging as the challenges are from the outside world, where the outsiders attack your system and make it, bring the red flags to the system. So, thank you, Mr. Sudhir, for adding that on. So, now moving ahead, we all were talking that how during these years we have upgraded ourselves, how technology is helping both in sustainability, in cybersecurity, in how digital transformation is helping us grow. Now, how my question would be regarding the best trends and practices of technology adoption that are helping manufacturing sector in the current era when we are still under the threat of COVID pandemic, when the uncertainty is still there with us. So, Mr. Kasturi, would you like to answer this for us? That what are the best trends and practices in technology adoption that you are focusing at your end?
Yeah, sure. So prior to that, I want to just talk about the cybersecurity concerns also. Nowadays, there are many security threats as well as security. Cyber security is a big challenge. We are also getting proper solutions. Nowadays, we are getting phishing solutions, security solutions. The more vendors are offering many services. Same way, when we are talking about customer B2B to B2C, customer data protection should be our top priority. So we it's a compliance matter also. So now what's happening now for when we are moving to B2C, we more focus on to developing a small application and try to serve the customer needs. Instead of that, if you go and use the proper solutions like SFDC, CRM, and or cloud native application, we may be able to serve customers in a better way. And nowadays, after banking systems are improved and we have new payment gateways, now UPI system. So we're all these are also helping our B2C to serve to our customers in a better way. So when it comes to the new technology adoption, so basically we are having the systems. We need to have our own DC centers. So better to we have more cloud services, so it will be more accessible. So whatever the better way we should be adapt to cloud as well, wherever we there's a possibility to reduce the dependency on the DC, and remote access is important. Second thing, business continuity is very important for us. So we need to have a BCP plan in properly to face the such situations like pandemic situation and all. Even if there is a new threat, we should be ready to by using business continuity plans. So so we need to evaluate the solutions and remote working possibilities in each and every area, be it a production area, be it is a uh, plant area, it is in the corporate area. Everywhere we need to evaluate to right solutions for remote working. So these are the trends, and we need to how practices. We need to ensure this new evolution.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Kasturi. Yes, remote working has actually, people are talking about challenges, but it has actually added a lot of opportunities in disguise. And, I believe that, progressing ahead is a way to life, and industries are actually taking this challenge up and helping converting it into opportunities to refine their system, to refine their practices, technology adoption. So, Mr. Zain, we were talking about best trends and practices in technology adoption. You spoke at length about digital transformation, about mobile solutions. Then maybe sustainability goals. So and also that every institution now has to be an IT driven institution. That's the need of the hour. So what are the best trends and practices in technology adoption that you think you are currently undertaking, and what would you like to try or you want to deploy in future, so that your functions are continuing and you are adding more resilience to your system?
Okay, so I think touching on the security aspect of things, I think we are a B2B organization, so we don't directly deal with a lot of the clients. But what we had is we had a explosion of hybrid work environment. So we had quite a lot of our executives being moved to homes. So I think like Sundar and Kasturi mentioned, um, we obviously have to go through the processes. So we moved from protecting our servers to having to protect 3 to 400 people who are working remotely. So in this landscape, we started off with, obviously you have to have the basic endpoint securities, you have to have um, the firewalls in place. All of these are required. Also, what we did was we set up multi-factor authentication. We started with two-factor authentications, then we went into multi-factor authentication when it came to the security aspect of things. But I suppose the hybrid work environment where you work a couple of days at home, work a couple of days in your location, office location, is here to stay. It's not going to go away. So I think that is something that, as being part of the IT industry, we need to adjust to. It is the future generation is always going to ask for a hybrid work environment. That's on the security aspect of it. If you look at the overall trends, where we are, and where we would be heading, I think a key factor, especially for the manufacturing industry, is going to be how we are going to use robotic process automations. So, if I mention a few, I think we are working with UiPath, where we automate certain functions where we it is a repetitive non-value adding task where it can be done using RPA. So if I use a couple of examples, I think uh, a very basic thing like an HR function, where when it comes to a birthday email, an attendance report, okay, so things like that are being done through a robotic process automation through a bot. It doesn't need to be done by a human. So that is something that we're working on. We are taking that a couple of steps further, and we are looking at automating certain key functions. For example, a bomb creation, a PO creation. Okay, we are also looking at customer orders being created using a bot through RPAs. So I think if I look at the future, I think the bot technology is going to be, and the RPA technology is going to be a key factor, and it's going to grow in the future. Also, with the new generation, I think we need to come out from the traditional reporting structures, and a lot of the reporting and action is going to be taken on visualization. So a lot more visualizations are support will come in, and through that visualizations, it would be a bot that would support individuals who would basically be taking the final decision. So my future for the apparel industry is we would have a lot more bots and robotic automation taking over in the future.
So, you spoke about RPA, and you spoke about chatbots, and a blend of man and machine. Because yes, of course, there are areas where the artificial intelligence bots are actually helping solve a lot of queries, a lot of customer related problems. But I think also there are areas where we need someone to speak to us and understand that emotional quotient is they need to understand that this is what I'm trying to say. So the perfect blend of man and machine is something which is going to help us understand the challenges in future, and would help us grow better. So, Mr. Sudhir, would you like to answer this question as well? Would you like to talk about the best trends and practices in technology adoption that that you are handling right now?
See, as I mentioned earlier, there are many technologies available today. If you say it IoT or analytics, hundreds of solutions available. Which one suits your requirement? That is important. At the same time, if you are running analytics, you need to understand what source of data is important for your organization. We everybody is now with either ERP or some kind of in-house system, legacy system, and data in-house data is tremendously available with almost every organization. But at the same time, it's very important to select external source which will contribute, and how to select and which to select, that is important. Now data is available free of cost on government side. Some data is available, like there are some big organization, they are collecting data, that data is available for sell. But my recommendation for my peers or IT, is learning process. So best ways to discuss with your industry, with your manufacturing or your works manager, your marketing head, understand what is their need, accordingly you design your product.
That's a challenge that I am facing here. So a blend of human and technology is something which is important to strike a balance, and that's what we all are, we are trying to do right now. With new technology is something that is coming to us every day, but as the leaders in the industry, we will have to understand what is important for us and what will help us in understanding our customers better. So with this, we are coming to end and coming to the end of this panel discussion, which was, like I said, I was thinking it will be insightful, and it is indeed very insightful. You all brought a lot of knowledge to the table from the segments you belong from. Manufacturing has a lot of segments, and you brought the information operation innovation and transformation related insights to the table today, which will help us understand that how manufacturing industry is going to look in future. And hope is still there with us, because leaders are ensuring that for us, and CIOs of late, with the change in time, with the challenges on board, have helped transform all the industries significantly and ensure that the continuity is there, and the innovation is on point, and the customer knows that he is in safe hands as far as technology adoption and deployment is concerned. So thank you so much for joining us today, panelists, and adding your experience, your knowledge here on table. So, team, can we have the certificates on screen? Elets Technomedia would like to thank you and share the appreciation token with you for joining us today. Thank you so much, Mr. Milind Kamkar, for joining us today for the panel discussion. And we would stay connected to understand better from you and the industry you belong to. Uh, can we go to the next certificate? All right. So thank you, Mr. Satyanarayan Kasturi, for joining us today. We appreciate your time and we value your time. Thank you so much for sharing all the knowledge that you have and
Thank you.
bringing that to the table. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Sudhir, for joining us today and speaking on technology with regards to manufacturing industry and then the best practices. So thank you for joining us today. All right. Thank you, Mr. Again, for joining us today. We appreciate your time and the knowledge that you brought today on table, and which definitely added value to the panel discussion. So, on behalf of Elets Technomedia, Let's CIO, and the Banking and Finance Post, this is Rashiditi Ghosh signing off today from this panel discussion, and we will stay connected to all the panelists here for more innovation chats and talks and updates. Namaskar from our end. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.